Hey everyone, in this video I wanted to talk about a study that happened earlier this year that didn't get a lot of media attention or notoriety to the level that which it should have. But it's a study that was conducted out of the University of Tennessee Oak Ridge National University Laboratory. And it was a study where the Summit supercomputer was given a database of all existing drugs and natural compounds, and then it was fed information about the DNA and structure of the SARS-CoV-2 spike protein. So the SARS-CoV-2 virus has on its outer membrane something called spike proteins. They're S spike proteins, which look like little crowns. That's why it's called coronavirus, because it's in Spanish. Corona is crown. They look like little crowns on the edges of the virus. This spike protein binds to a receptor on human cells called ACE2. Now, ACE2 receptors are all over the body, mainly in the lungs, the cardiovascular system, and the GI tract. But they're also located in the kidneys and some other areas of the body. When the virus enters our body, it attaches its spike protein to the ACE2 receptor in kind of a lock and key combo. What this study was looking at was saying, okay, well, let's look at natural compounds that can either block, that already exist or we already have access to, that can either block the S spike protein on the coronavirus or block the ACE2 receptor site so that there isn't a binding of the two, and therefore the virus can't get into the cell. So they ran the supercomputer against over 51,000 compounds, both natural and pharmaceutical. And what they found was a list of the top 40 compounds, some of which were natural, some of which were pharmaceutical, that had the best binding affinity, or the Venus score, which they used in the study, to either the ACE or the S protein. And of those 40 compounds, they found 4 that were, based on their shape, considered to potentially be ideal for further study and for further investigation. One of which was called a drug called Micholas. It's a drug that's not very common here in the US, but it's used primarily for asthma and allergies. Another was an antibiotic called acinetozad pyruvate. Another antibiotic called nitrofurantoin or macrobid, which are antibiotic drugs for UTIs. And the last was actually a natural compound called eridictiol, which is the active compound in an herb called yerba santa. It's actually also in lemon balm and lemons. So what they found was these 4 compounds bound most strongly, had the strongest affinity for this ACE2 receptor site in the presence of the spike protein, and creating a kind of a block that wouldn't allow the virus to come into the cell. Eridictiol, of those 4, eridictiol is the natural compound found in yerba santa. Yerba santa is an herb that is found all over California. It was popular among Native Americans and used for cold and flu and anything lung related for centuries. It's not really readily available in the US. It is, certain companies make it in tincture form, but there are not a lot about there, and I did a little research and see that there a lot of the yerba santa tinctures actually sold out. But eridictiol actually upregulates heme oxygenase 1, which is a compound which is super anti-inflammatory and reduces oxidative stress on the body. So any compounds, similar compounds have actually been studied that can actually increase heme oxygenase 1 and lower inflammation. One of actually which is elderberry. But eridictiol does it very strongly, and in addition to doing that, it also binds this to this binding site. What was interesting in that study of the 40 compounds, some of the natural compounds that were actually higher on that list were something called luteolin, which is an natural antihistamine, and quercetin. And quercetin also is beneficial because it's a zinc ionophore. So in addition to potentially blocking viral entry into cells, it actually also increases zinc movement into the cells, where zinc acts as a powerful antiviral by blocking transcriptase, which is the viral enzyme which reproduces the virus in the cells. So this is just some interesting information. I'm not necessarily saying that you need to go out and start taking your Basanta, but something to consider potentially with your doctor. Just some interesting information. I don't know why this study wasn't given more play. Actually, I will include a link to the study in the comments section so that you can take a look at it if you like. But I wanted to again thank Dr. Josh Trutt for sending me this study to look at, and actually want to thank Dr. Zawicki for helping me understand some of the finer details of the study, which she was able to do really well. So anyways, that's some information for you to look at, and hope you enjoy it.